In this section, I have written out 10 beginner broken double bass beats. Now these are great to practice. You can speed them up and they can become a little bit more intermediate or advanced just by increasing the tempo. However, to start off with, maybe try it at a tempo that's relatively slow. We start out with 8 notes, we do a bit of triplets, and we even do some 16th notes in here. So make sure you practice, count it out first, and play with the metronome. Let me go over a few of the more challenging ones in this section just to kind of teach you how they sound and what you need to do before you play them. Then we'll dive into all 10. Now before I go any further, I do want to mention that when I was writing these beats, whether it be the beginner, intermediate, or advanced, what I did is I thought back to some of the bands that I listened to a lot. And that's Porcupine Tree, Dream Theater, even some Metallica. So what I did when I was writing some of these is I would refer back to some of their beats that I would play a lot of. So you might find a few that might sound like some of the songs that you've heard before. For example, in this section, number 4, it happens to be in one of the Dream Theater songs I listened to. And I thought it was cool to do that because you can kind of refer to it and refer back to the song and see this is how that beat is played and see that it's just basically 8 notes, 16th notes and all that compiled in a certain way. Now let's start with number 5. Number 5 is one of those beats that is a triplet feel. And when you're playing a triplet feel on the bass drum, you're going to notice that your hand and your feet don't always line up with your right foot. And what I mean by that is when you're playing 8th notes and 16th notes, usually your hi-hats or your ride cymbal land on your right foot. When you're playing a triplet feel, it's going to alternate from the right foot and the left foot back and forth. Now let me show you what I mean. This is an 8th note triplet. I'm going to play a roll on my bass drum, and you're going to watch my ride cymbal, and you're going to see that it lines up once on the right foot and then once again on the left foot. Check this out. So you notice how I was playing quarter note pulses on the ride cymbal, and my bass drum was going right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, and that was alternating on the quarter notes with right foot and then left foot. So that's something that you're going to have to play around with, because I do have a few beats written, whether it's 8th note triplets or 16th note triplets, and you do have to get that feel for it. That's why it is essential to practice both your straight 8th notes and 16th notes and your triplet versions of those. Now let's move on to number 7 and 8. I'm going to teach these ones a bit because it utilizes the slide triplet. Now if you haven't learned the slide triplet or you don't know what the slide triplet is, go back. I have a video on it. It is a very cool technique. It's a very cool style of playing on the bass drum that you should learn, and I utilize it in 7 and 8 of this section. Now if you really don't want to learn this or you don't know how to learn it, you can always play just a triplet stroke on your right, left, and right. Instead, I go right, right, left. I'm going to show you what the slide technique is, and then if you want to learn it, you can go back and check out the slide technique video, or if you don't, you can always just play right, left, right. Here's what the slide technique looks like. So as you can see, it's a way of utilizing the slide technique to get 3 strokes by adding in 1 extra on the left foot. And I teach this all in the video in the past, so you should go check that one out. Now let's move on to the last one, number 10. If you notice, number 10 is a triplet feel again. And this one, instead of copying what we were doing on the last one where you follow it with your ride cymbal, it's all going to be on the toms. So watch it. Every quarter note, you're going to be hitting an accent on the toms, and on the 4 count, that's when we're hitting the snare. So it's not one of those beats where it hits on the snare on the 2 and the 4. This one's only on the 4. And you'll see that when we get to it. Let's start at number 1. Watch all these beats and play along with me. Here we go. So that's 10 double pedal beginner beats. Go on to the intermediate once you've gotten these down, and I'll see you there.